And welcome everyone. My name is Surtur from Slytherin and I'll be your host for tonight as we'll be taking a look at Sovereignty, Crown of Kings. Sovereignty, Crown of Kings is a medieval fantasy grand strategy title that will be available in early access next week. So here we are in the main menu of the game. Tonight we're going to play a bit of the game, show you what it's about, and explain why are we doing this early access system here, because it's rather unusual for us to do so. First of all, let me tell you a bit about the game. Sovereignty Crown of Kings is a game that lets you control one of the realms in our own created fantasy setting and let you carve your own path through history. So I'm going to click here on a new game and we can see the world of Sovereignty, the map that has been created, each with filled all with different kinds of realms, different peoples, different races. We got dwarves, elves, men, etc. All of these realms have their own history and their own statistics. As we can see here, for example, after selecting the realm of Brogenhur, or Brogenhur, or however I am supposed to pronounce it in this realm, and we can see a number of things. We can see we got different races here. So we got dwarves, in this case, they have a special style, they have some characteristics, they have a history for them, and they have several modifiers, and all of these depend on again, the race you're selecting, the history of the race, and how they align towards each other. So in this case, we have the world made up of all kinds of different empires, some bigger, some smaller. You're free to choose pretty much all of them. There are a couple of exceptions here, but most of these, just you can click on them, you can select them, you can get information on the realms. What we're going to do today, I think we're going to play as some high elves here on Sonanove, however you'd like to call it, and we can see we got some high elves here. We have a good alignment, and we have a magical and diplomatic style of play, meaning that we get some agents to spread around, and we have a relatively high level of magic compared to other realms. And we're going to show you the magic system in a second. Here, this is one of the other cool things. You can choose your own campaign or your own victory conditions, and a couple of them are generic. For example, become the greatest geographic power, become the greatest land power, etc. So altogether, just become greater than everyone else. But there are also a couple of victory conditions which are specific to the realm and its history and its culture. In this case, for example, this one is specific to the realm of the High Elves, and it is about the elves becoming a major power again. So ally with your elven brothers, and also together with them become a strong power in the world. All of these have a different difficulty or starting position strength. So these are 2 stars, whereas these guys, for example, are 5 stars. The Barovian Empire. In this case, though, let's just have a look at these, and I can show you the awesome map that goes with it. So we're going to hit play here, and we're jumping in. We're going to disable the tips for now. Alright, so here we are. This is the map of Sovereignty. You can see there's a lot of detail in there. It's one of the prettiest maps I've ever seen, to be honest. You can see all the terrain types. You can see the cities, the levels of economy for each town. You can see some landmarks here, which gives specific benefits to the region they're in, or to the site they're owned by. And let's take a look at our own realm then. We are covered in forest. We are high elves. We love the woods, apparently, and we fight better in the forest. To our immediate south, we have Brogenhur, which is a dwarvish realm. We can click on it, get some more information, and their history, which are covered in mountainsides mainly and some heavy forts. The elves don't really care for forts, so we lack these as a defensive measure. We got some humans to our south here, and we have some undead to our immediate east in the swamps, and we have another very large empire to our north. So what we are going to do tonight is we're going to try and expand our area, become a major power in the region. In order to do that, we should probably will have to keep our eyes on the Vasoi and try and expand to either the south here or the east. Now, I don't want to get at war with everyone, of course. I want to have some stable regions. So first thing I'm going to do, starting this game, is going to set up my diplomacy. So I am going to go, I can check here in the diplomacy panel. As you can see, we can have a list of all the races and their disposition. Or we can go into the diplomacy menu here, and we can select our neighbor here, Broganhor, the dwarves. They're usually pretty defensive, so I hope I can set up a good relationship with them. So I'm going to take covert action, and I'm going to do some propaganda from my side, because I'm going to send one of my 3 agents. In this case, I have 3 agents. It depends on the realm you choose, and I'm going to send them to improve relations, and they're on their way now. Cool thing is that the traveling takes 1 turn in this case because Broganhur is very close. If I were to send them to one of the further away realms, it would actually take multiple turns for them to get there. Another agent I want to send to the large empire to my immediate north, the Vasoi, because I don't want to take them on before I get strong enough. So again, I'm going to select them here from the list, and I am going to say improve the realm's opinion toward us. So another agent goes there. I'll keep a 3rd agent free for any action that I might need in the future. Quick question here already. Can you rename your agents or any of your units? At the moment, let me show you here. This is not possible. They're listed as agent 1, 2, and 3. That being said, you can part of the early access is that we are looking for your community feedback. So we're looking for you to play the game and submit ideas that you might have. We got the Lords and Gothic Labs, who are the developers on this great game. It's actually one of the biggest games we've ever done, and they're also here in the chat. They're also listening already. But definitely, I mean, one of the things we want to do the early access for is to get these kinds of ideas, get them in, and prioritize them, and see how we can make this game, which is already very good. I mean, it's an early access game, but it's in a much further state than many early access games you see on Steam, and actually make it a really awesome, really special game. So I'm going to press close here again, so we have that done. We have our basic diplomacy done, and hopefully that would secure these borders. In time, I will try and continue and sign some non-aggression pacts and get some more. We can see in our top left that we have a new message. These messages appear every time we start a new turn, and by clicking on it, we get our spell tree here. So because we are a realm that has high affinity with magic, we already start with 1 magic point. In this case, we can use it to learn 1 spell called Woodlore. So these are the spells you see. There's a spell tree, so there's some planning involved with what spells you go for. And there is the magic level. So you need to raise your magic level. I'm currently at level 1, which means that I can only choose level 1 spells. At the time, you have to choose, do you use your magic point to learn a new spell or to improve your magic level. So that's something you have to keep in mind. In this case, we are level 1. I'd like to learn this spell specifically, Woodlore, because what this spell does, let's select it here, we can see it on our right. The woodlands provide any forest you own grants 15 experience as if it were a landmark. So that means we get more magic experience, so we will be able to level up quicker our magic level in the future. So we're going to press learn, and we learned the spell, and it is added here to our list of spells. So we have now only this one. Let's close the magic panel for now. And by selecting it, I can choose to play it on one of my areas. So I'm going to place it on a woodland, and we can see the effect taking place. And we have cast a wood lore on the region. And this means that we will generate more XP for our magic. Now let's take a quick look at the map and see what all the numbers, icons, and details mean here. So this is our capital. Let's select it here, Leeuwencourt. And why is it our capital? It is indicated by this circle here, saying it is the capital and is the center of our empire. Now we can also see a number on each region. The number represents the economic value. This economic value is something that gets decreased by warfare taking place in the region, or actually occupation taking place in the region, and it is increased by players' investment. So by investing money in the local economy, you can upgrade the economic value, generating more cash in the future. Then we see, of course, the drawn graphics, which indicate the terrain that is there. So in this case, we see trees indicating we got forest. Here we see a landmark, and this landmark specifically, they generate magic experience for you. So we got two of them, and they generate magic experience. Another thing they do is they can have special powers over the region. So in this case, in this valley, when we select it, we can see to our right that this region, if owned by an elven realm, one random human or dwarf unit in Seal Valley answers to the seductive call of the Dryads and is taken prisoner at the end of every turn. So as you can see, there are a lot of regions with these very specific, very characteristic traits that add a lot of character, not only to the world, but also a lot of gameplay options and a lot of immersion, really. Next, we can see a number of icons here, and these are resources that are produced locally. So here we are producing wine in these regions, and here we are producing alchemy, and you need these to recruit special units, and we're going to take a look at that right now, because one of the things I need to do, I need to prepare for war. I want to expand, I want to become a regional power. Of course, in doing so, we need to recruit some troops. So I'm going to click on the purchase units button, and we get into the recruitment sector. Here we can see we got some infantry recruitment, we got archers, we got cavalry. We cannot recruit any naval units with this realm. It's not a naval realm. Hi there, Vet Pro. Nice of you to join us. And we got some siege units here, which are used to take on defense works, forts, and towers. You can see some units are grayed out here, and that is not because, in this case, not because we don't have the money, but because you need special resources for it. By clicking on it, we can see here that this unit costs 1 iron to raise, so in order to recruit heavy armored units, we need iron, which we don't produce ourselves, and wine, which we do produce ourselves. So we would need to trade for it in the marketplace in order to get it, or trade with other nations directly. Then here we can select our range units, and we got a couple of them we can recruit. Let's select here, for example, the Dryads. We can see that the Dryads are archer type units doing 1 ranged attack of a 2 range. They're quick units, but they don't do a whole lot of damage. They're lightly armored. They cost 412 to recruit and 14 to maintain each turn, with a number of turns until ready is 8 turns. We also get a quick look at the artwork of the Dryad. We can see that they're archer type units, they're elves, which give some specific characteristics to the units. So in this case, we fight better in Old 4, Light 4s. What type of unit it is, in this case our Dryads are elite units, meaning that there is a unit cap to them. We can only recruit 4 of them, and we have this unit compromises a group. Some units compromise or are only made of individuals, such as, for example, the Bard. And the difference is, of course, that when they get lower in health, it means they have less man, so also their attack power is suffering. So I'd like to recruit a number of these Dryads. They're easy to maintain. They are garrison units, meaning that I cannot attack with them, but in order to first secure my realm, they're a very good starting unit. Also, the fact that they cost it takes 8 turns, which is actually quite a lot to recruit, is another reason to get a hold of them quicker rather than later. Another unit I'd like to recruit immediately is one of the most special units in game. There are a couple of these for different realms, and these are units that really can only be one of in the entire game at one time. And this is a magic unicorn. This unicorn is free to maintain actually, so it's really a special unit for this nation, so there's no reason not to start recruiting it immediately. It takes a bit of money though to recruit, and some alchemy as well, but we produce that as home, so we got some of that stuff ourselves. It has some abilities, and it's not a garrison unit, so we can actually use it to take the fight to the enemy. It's a monster type, which also grants some specifics, and it's a unique unit, so there can only be one of them. So we're going to recruit that one as well. Aside from that, I'd like to save some money and try and save up a bit so I can invest in my local economy. Another thing I'm going to do, I'm going to select my army here. These icons represent armies, and we can see what it consists of at the moment. We got light infantry units, we got some knights, we got elven longbows, and we got one unit of dryads. And we're going to move them to our capital. And the reason for that is units have lesser upkeep, lower upkeep costs when positioned in the capital. So it's the safest way, or the best way when not at war, to keep them there. So having done that, we're going to press and turn for a first time, and we're going to see the AI play their turns. Question here coming up: how much will the early access version cost? It will be priced at $24.99 in dollars, that is, or your local currency equivalent. It will be a bit cheaper. The final price of the game, when it's actually released, will be a bit higher. So we got this special deal for our early adopters, and as a thank you to their support, to their input, because again, guys, we really need it. We really like your input here. To make this game, which is already, again, very stable, very good, but to make it something really special. So, having pressed our end turn, we got some more cash now, as we can see in the top, and we got enough to start investing some in our economy. So we're going to invest in our lowest numbers first, get them up. And we will see once we get into a war soon. I'm not sure whom we will declare war to first. How these economic values play a role during wars. Are there hero units in the game? Is another question asked here. Yes, there are. I don't have any yet. There should be one available soon. You cannot recruit them at will. These hero units level up, just like all your units can level up actually, and get special skills and trades that you can use during combat. So upgrading our economy costs quite a bit of money. One thing I would like to check if we can trade with Broken Her for some iron. We got some wine, we got some alchemy to spare. If we can get some iron from them, it means we can recruit some of our infantry units. So I'm going to select the Broken Heart capital, and I'm opening the diplomacy panel here, and I'd like to send them a trade offer. So what I'd like from them is, we can ask money from them, you can ask resources, anything they have to spare. You can ask them to give provinces, anything that is not their capital, or you can do a treaty. So what I'd like to do is, I'd like to ask from them some iron. They only have one to spare at the moment, that's a shame. We'll offer some wine. Let's just get the trade offer going to see if we can get a non-aggression pact signed. That would be even better probably. So here it says they will probably decline this offer, so if we can add a bit of wine to them, we convince them, we get some trade going, try and win their confidence, and we're going to send the offer. So agent number 3, which we kept as a spare on purpose, is now moving to Brogan Har to see if he can get the treaty as proposed. Another way to get resources you might need is to buy them from the marketplace directly. It's also a good place to sell any any resources you might not need, although perhaps they could be of more value when trading them to other realms directly. Right, so our units, as we can see here, are still being produced. It's going to take some time, so we're going to press the end turn again. And here we have it. So there's your question answered. A hero rallies to our banner. In this case, we got a free hero. The first hero in game is always free, and it is a druid type hero, which has one specific spell that all enemy units in light or old forest hexes take 15 nature damage and are unable to move their next turn. This is a very good defensive spell, since we have perhaps if they are attacking us, it could be very useful in our fight. So Broken Her has just rejected our trading offers, so perhaps we shoot them a bit more wine. Let's try and do that. Let's add some wine, one more wine to the table and send it. Oh, we have to wait one turn again for another free agent. Okay. And there we are. So now we can see the flags added to the army icon. We got the hero set up here, the druid. We can move around. Let's take a look at some of the panels here. We got a panel showcasing all our armies. In this case, I just moved them out to show you how that's done. We got a special panel to select all units in one go or unselect them all. We got a list of all our provinces and what they produce. So we can see the shape of the province to make it a bit more recognizable. You can see their economy level. You can see what they are producing, and of course, if they are your capital, it has the special capital symbol as well. So it's a quick overview for that. The resources we currently have in stock. So we got some wine, we got some alchemy, but we lack a lot of resources. Not all of them are needed for us though, but iron is definitely one of those things we need in order to get some of our units. We can have the magic panel. Here we can see we have one spell. It's still active for another 10 turns. So we can see our magic here slowly building up. We needed 1000 XP to the next level, so it's going to take some time. Let's do some magic investment to speed it up a bit. So you can invest some of your money. In this case, we're going to go for 10% investment. We're going to send part of our money to our to invest in magic to speed up the amount of experience we'll get. And again, the diplomacy panel. So here we can see like what their relations is to us. We can also view it just by name alphabetically if you prefer that. And there is my favorite panel, the rank panel. So here we can see the relative strength of all these empires or these minor powers, and hopefully we'll grow from our low position in the center all the way up there and join the likes of the Iron Barony, etc. So let's see, where are we at the moment? We're here, 131. Not too bad, but we're very much a medium, a middle power. But we can cycle through other specific things, so diplomatic power, based on the amount of alliances you have. In this case, we're at the start of the game, so there's not a whole lot of differentiation. There's the magic power. In this case, we are actually a number one power. So when it comes to magic, we are among the best. There is the economic power, and hopefully here we'll be able to rise up quickly through the ranks. Of course, a steady economy. Make sure you got a good number of units being pumped out to take your enemy. And sea power. We are not a sea power ourselves, so we don't quite care about this. But for some nations, of course, sea power is essential and required to also launch, of course, amphibious invasions if you start with one of the island nations. Right, so having done that, we're going to press the end turn button again. And here we get again our list of everything that has happened. Some treaty signed. Alright, so we're going to try and send our diplomat again to Brokenher. So you're awaiting orders. I'm going to go to our friends. And the treaty is remembered, so I don't have to recalibrate everything. So we're going to offer them 4 wine now. Do you have a bit more iron? They don't have any iron anymore to give. That's a shame. So we're going to send him once again. We got some money again to invest in one of our provinces. So let's go. And let's see if we can start recruiting a bit more units. Because we are getting a bit weak and having some defenses here. I quite like the elven longbows, although the problem with the longbows is we'll see perhaps when we face the undead, a lot of the undead units are impervious to missile. So for that we need our infantry, but we cannot recruit them. Another thing we could do is recruit some cavalry. So let's do that. Let's recruit 1 cavalry unit and a longbow unit. And I'd also like you to have a look and appreciate all the artwork that we can find here of the different region cards, of the unit cards, of the spells which we can cast again, and of course of all the types of units we have, not just the Dryad. So we're going to move you back to save up some money again to the capital. Get some money going in. Not a whole lot yet. So if we zoom out here again, we can see everyone moving at their turn, doing their stuff. So let's continue here and start recruiting some more units. One of the problems of the high elves is that I'm playing at the moment is that their units take relatively long time to recruit. Even these guys take 5 turns. For some of the other nations, with 2 to 4 turns, you got some of your strongest units already. And there we go. And war has been declared on us by our southern neighbors of Kragan West. And it looks like they have quite a big army, a bit bigger than we have. Let's close victory condition for now. They got armies here, here. Yeah, it's a hero location here and a large army here. I'm going to move my army. I'm going to keep my army at the location it is at the moment, I think, because I should get some new units soon in 2 turns. In 2 turns I get my Dryads, which are defensive units only. Right, so let's move them south. Let's see if we can scare them off. Ideally, I mean, I like to take one of these provinces from them. They produce iron here, which would be very useful for me. But even just getting some of their diamonds here would be a plus. Is there some sort of casus belli system in diplomacy? At the moment, there is not. Although usually realms declare war on each other when there are bad relations. Also, civilized countries cannot declare war and actually go to war in the same turn, so you have to declare war 1 turn in advance. You cannot do any illegal surprise attack when you're a civilized country, that is. So for other realms like the orcs, some of the orc realms, they can just invade directly. So having done that, let's see if I can recruit some mercenary units which are relatively quicker, such as the Elven Bard. So let's take a couple of these. They're cheap to recruit. They are quick to recruit, relatively speaking, but they usually have a bit higher upkeep than standard units. Also, the Bard is not overly strong, but I need some quick fodder for now. No, not that. Let's take some extra archers in advance as well. Again, it costs such a long time that you have to plan it a bit. Oops. And we spend all our money on extra archers, which are fairly effective against these humans. Do you have nemesis or enemies who you can never befriend with? Well, not really. It's not hard-coded that you cannot ally or befriend other realms, but it can definitely get very difficult if there is a natural dislike of your realm because of your alignment. For example, you're a good alignment, they have bad alignment because of the history or lore behind it. So you might have gone to war in the past because of cultural differences between races. So when you combine a couple of these, it can already become very difficult to get on good terms with some of the other realms. And next turn they've yet to try any attack, so that's good news for me. I like to get on the attack then at some point. In one turn we get some units to add to our army. And there they go. They move up one unit here to this region. And the reason they only move one unit here is probably because of the little risks it take, and they are forcing me to move out to deal with the threat. Notice that this region is still under my control. The way it works is that every turn, this one of your regions is under control by the enemy. You actually the economic value of that province will go down. When it goes down to 0, it means that the province will change owner. So in this case, they would have to remain on this position, on this region for 3 turns in order to claim it as theirs, which is more than enough time for me to move out. So now when I select my unit, I can select this region. I can move there in 1 turn, luckily. You will see though that here we have a symbol indicating that this garrison unit can actually not take part in the attack. Garrison units can only defend. So that's fine, we should still be strong enough, and it's a good opportunity to show you some basic combat going on. So we press the attack button, and here we can choose, do we want to auto-calculate this battle, or do we want to go into tactical battle ourselves? Of course, in this case, we want to go into tactical battle. And you see we zoom into the map, and one of the awesome things about this game is really that the battle map is based on the strategic map, meaning that it's not randomly generated, the terrain, but it's actually the same as it is on the strategic map. So cities are located in the correct places, forests and mountains are located in the correct places, as well as rivers and streams. So here we are then, the battle phase. This is deployment phase, so I can deploy my unit anywhere on my side of the border. The icons here indicate enemy troop deployment, so they move 2 troops at my region. And what I have to do is, before the end of the game, I have to win either by defeating all the attacking units or by capturing all the victory points, in which case these are located here. We can see the flags on them. No, there is no stacking on the tactical map. I cannot stack units on top of each other. So I'm going to position them here. I'm going to have my knights on the flank. And we're going to press done. One of the things now we can already do is the enemy is located on forest tiles. So what we can do is we can already use our hero card, which again, if you remember correctly, forces them to take 15 nature damage if they are on a forest tile, in which case they are at the moment, and at the same time it prevents them from moving next turn. So we're going to place that. They are now rooted to the ground and have taken some damage, so that's a very good way to weaken them a bit in advance. So we're going to move up our units. and we're going to engage in combat. So again, I just select my unit. I can see where do I want to go to move. I select where I want to go. I hover over the enemy to see the expected casualties on both sides. In this case, it's a good trade. So I click, and the battle takes place. We can see the red bar indicating the health of the unit, and the white bar indicating the morale of the unit. Lower morale, of course, leads to lower effectiveness in combat. So those were my melee units. Then I got my archer units here. So archers can move and shoot in one turn. The line you can see here indicates the range of these archers. These are longbows, which means that they can shoot quite far. They can shoot over allies. And here you will see that I can do more potential damage to this unit over here. Because it is still higher health, it has greater health, meaning that there are more units consisting of this unit. There are more soldiers in there than there are on this unit, because here a number of them have already been killed. So the bigger a group, of course, the easier the target for archers. So in order for maximum effectiveness, I choose to attack the second group rather than the first one. And then I have my cavalry. You can see they have a large movement radius, and we can see some icon here. We get a charge going on, dealing significant amount of casualties. Of course, this cannot be done when they're too close to the enemy. They're locked in melee in that case. But now from this range, a charge can be done, dealing a significant amount of damage and obliterating the enemy here. So having moved all my units, I'm going to end my turn. And the question here, why can you get casualties as an archer showing? It's because the unit I'm attacking here is also ranged. They got crossbow units, so they will actually return fire when you attack them with ranged. Anyway, let's just finish them off here, do another charge. I prefer to kill them off rather than to make them flee by capturing the victory locations, because then they would of course flee to their own realm and be able to fight in the next battle. So I took out the enemy here. I'm gonna keep my drives here, I think, because I got my new drives to deploy. So I got a nice garrison troop here, and all my troops I can actually fight. I'm gonna deploy here, and I'm gonna see if I can take the fight to the enemy directly, or perhaps after a more bigger attack from their side. So let's see, what units do we still have in the queue. We got 2 turns for more archers and 3 turns for a whole lot of stuff, including our unicorn. So that's something we definitely like to have. We also got a lot of money again, so we can keep investing in our economy. Any penalties for river crossing? Yes, definitely. If I were to attack with this army here to the south, I would actually have to cross the river on the battle map, because like I said, the battle map is based on the actual terrain we see here in the strategic map, and during this river crossing my units will be less effective while in the water. Of course, once they crossed, this penalty disappears. So having done all this, let's recruit a couple more archers, or some foresters perhaps. They're more expensive. As we can see, we got the longbows on the left here, the foresters on the right. The foresters are units that do both well in range as well as in melee combat. They also have the scout ability, which is, I suppose, quite useful as well. But they're a lot more expensive on the upkeep, so I'm still going to prefer archers actually. So I'm going to recruit 2 more archer units. One thing I haven't showed you yet is here to the left we got our messages coming up. So we had our province occupied. Of course, we liberated it already. We got the season indicating here. Each season also brings specific traits or changes. We can activate our spell again, by the way. Let's do that for some extra stuff. Here we have the mini-map, and on the mini-map we can select different modes. So this one shows the political view. So here we can see the realms according to national color. It's a quick way to see who's big, who's small, and where you are located. Of course, we're here in white. We also got the geopolitics view, in which case I would have to hover over one nation. I can see the disposition to other nations. So in this case, we are enemies of course, the realm we are at war with. And a lot of the realms around us don't really care about us. So you can see per realm, who are they at war with, or who perhaps are they allied with. And there is the diplomatic view, which shows for your nation who you're at war with and how the rest thinks of you. So having done this, we're going to press the end turn again, and the enemy is moving. So the enemy is attacking me. Our dryads are actually being attacked now. So we got a minor skirmish here. I cannot fight this battle myself. I have to auto-calculate the battle. Why is that? That is because there is no hero present in this stack. You can only fight battles yourself where a hero is present. And what that does is it shows that it actually increases greatly the importance of the hero in a stack. So here we can see battle taking on, and we are doing quite well. We are dazing, confusing the enemy units, killing one of them, but we're taking significant hits. So the way the system here is made up is there are different rounds for combat, with a range round starting over and ends with a great melee in the final round, and then it's who will be the last man standing. In this case, we managed to rebuff the attack, killing 2 of their units but losing 1 dryad, and the others are extremely damaged. And we get a non-aggression pact offered from Cloudfell's. They're seeming to have good relations with us. I don't quite care, to be honest, about them. I'm going to reject it. They're very far away from me. There's no reason to have any diplomatic relations with them. Perhaps we got some resources they need. They ask it for that. We don't really need their stone. Alright, so let's see, how many turns was it? So only 1 turn, 2 turns for that. I am gonna go and send out... I mean, I could take this province. It's undefended here. Of course, it would leave a number of my provinces undefended, and it means that when I fight them, when they attack me, I would be on their territory rather than on my own, and a lot of my units operate way better in the forest than they do outside of it. So if they attack me with their stacks, then I'd be much more vulnerable. So it might just be them leaving this province undefended, not by accident. So having done that, I'm just going in here to get my awesome units. They're going to try another attack. It's fine. It does a lot of damage. It's a strong unit. It's a bounty hunter, so it's one of their mercenary units. And he actually manages to kill all of my dryads, so I'm gonna have to go into the counterattack next turn. And they're attacking on 2 sides now, so they're forcing me either to lose one, to split up, or to take them on 1 by 1. Yes, let's accept the offer. Get some offer from non-aggression pacts from surrounding groups. I'm quite inclined now to accept them, because if this war really turns bad, I'm going to need as many friends as possible, or at the very least as many realms as possible that won't immediately attack me. So I'm going to attack these guys first, because I'm quite mad. And we can do the tactical battle now. So the one asking, like, are there penalties for river crossing? Now I actually have to cross this river here, which is a rather annoying thing to do. Now we got 1, 2 victory locations. Yes, Zagblood, I did still have troops to deploy, but when you deploy them, you cannot move them immediately in the same turn. You have to wait 1 turn. So for this battle, they would have been useless, or I wouldn't be able to bring them. So that's why I wait till after the battle, so I can deploy them and keep my whole army together. So we're going to move my troops. I think I'm going to send out my archers first, actually, so they can shoot and cover. So this water is considered to be like low enough to cross. It just significantly decreases the speed at which you move and the effectiveness at which you fight, as we can see here. Indicated by the blue icon to the bottom right. Also, I can only move them 1 hex rather than a lot if I decide to go further into the water. But I have to do it. Also, my range is decreased, otherwise I would have been able to actually hit this guy already. So yes, it is very annoying, but there's not always a whole lot you can do about it. So we moved our units, and they are moving up as well. Do your first attack, and after that they are retreating. So we're going to move out of the water now and start shooting at them. As you can see, the penalty disappears. Oh, I was too close now. I actually could take return fire. And we're doing some good damage here. So that's one of them out of the way. As soon as I cross the water, I should be able to deal with them pretty quickly. And the enemy is not moving a whole lot, which is good, so I can chase them and do some significant damage. What are these units here? Mine layers. They are considered expendable siege units. If the unit is destroyed, the owner receives gold equal to its cost, so they are very economic units to use. And they have the siege ability, giving them a +7 attack against forts. Well, there wouldn't be any use against me, because us high elves don't build forts. So here we are moving out with our units. They're trying to further retreat. We can now charge one of them, which is cool. So let's do that. Of course, the cavalry charge is extremely powerful. These units are very expensive, the Elven Knights. But that's one of the reasons I want to get my hands on some iron, so I can start producing these myself, rather than do with the one I was given at the start of the game. So you can actually hit them. You're just out of range. Okay. And they are calling it a battle. They're running. So we recaptured this one, but now we need to go, next turn we need to go as quickly as possible to Nijboden to kick them out from there. So here we got some units to deploy, we got some more archers, so we're going to add them. And I'm going to start recruiting, again, our Dryad units. No, I don't want to go to the marketplace. So I'm going to recruit 4 of them, and I'm going to invest again in one of my region's economy. So we have a major battle fought somewhere else on the map. So sometimes you get information on major battles being fought if they're big enough, like they are news throughout the realm, and you get one of these awesome icons here indicating that the battle was fought here. Corvilat meeting the armies of Dunmar, delivering a crushing defeat. So only for the bigger battles will this appear, so this is the reason why we haven't seen it here. Again, we have provinces occupied. Better news though, we have actually increased magic point, so we have gained 1 magic point, and we spend it on increasing our magic to level 2, so we can start getting some more advanced magic spells next time. For example, the Sunbeam I selected here, I'd like to get at some point. Target 1 undead unit in province you own. And that unit takes 60 to 100 nature damage, so that could be extremely strong to do that before you attack them. Because I'm very afraid of the build-up of power here. There are 2 large attacks, both with heroes. So I'm afraid I won't be able to deal with them and our southern enemies at the same time. We have new units waiting to be deployed, and we have still provinces occupied by the enemy. Here we can see that the economic value of this province has been decreased to 2. In the meantime though, we're going to kick them out of our provinces. We're going to keep attacking them. I'm going to use our cavalry for a swift attack. Like Fed Pro mentions, cavalry is extremely powerful, but of course there are units to counter them. The enemy just doesn't have them yet. So for now they do an extremely deal an extremely strong punch. So this should be over fairly quickly. I'm going to start off with a nice charge. I can actually use my druid spell on them because they're on a forest tile, and I can hit them hard. There we go, moving in our bards. And turn. And they're retreating, that's a shame. I would have hoped to get the kill actually. So we got units waiting to be deployed, and this is where the true guys come in. We got our unicorn unit, we got our scout unit, and we got 3 more archers. So with these guys we got a significant army, so we can actually take the fight to them in the next turns. Of course, after I clear this region. Do you get some bonus for doing the battle yourself? Not really, in the sense that you don't get any penalties or whatever, but usually I feel like I'm more capable of doing stuff than my AI does. So there's no, well, I mean, for smaller battles you can definitely let the AI do it for you if you cannot be bothered with it. Which again in longer campaigns will definitely happen on numerous occasions, but for the really big battles you want to do them yourself, of course, to be in full control. For me it's very frustrating to see lose out on the bit, what feels then like a bit of luck, for example. So we got the Harvest Fair for a short break in one of our realms, that's fine. And we got another province occupied. In the meantime we also got the invasion notification, meaning that the enemy or our eastern friends have actually declared war on us. So now we are fighting on 2 fronts with an inferior army. So on that note, I am gonna improve the economy to the west, which I consider relatively safe, and I'm gonna recruit some more units. So having done that, I'm going to attack here, at which is almost taken. I'm going to attack the province. And soon I'll probably have to split up my army, but I really don't want to do that, seeing that all these big armies are just waiting for their chance. So here, for example, I will show you, I can go into the tactical one. We can go by rounds, or you can even speed up that process by doing it at maximum speed. And one of our unit has been promoted in this battle, so saying it was a successful battle, and has a new ability. So now I can choose for this unit of elven longbows if I want them to get the sharpshooter ability, which means that they cannot be counterattacked by an enemy ranged units when they attack, or +1 range. Both of them are extremely useful, to be honest, and they give you, again, that bit of extra character. So in this case, I'm going to go for the sharpshooter ability. Alright, the enemy has moved part of his army and our borders. We're really fighting to survive here. And we have the autumn coming up. A major battle has been fought at Round Point. Actually, Brogan Hur is at war now with the armies of Kazoth. We have enemy occupying our provinces. Luckily, we have a couple of new units to deploy. I'm going to deploy them in our capitals to keep that one safe and hopefully just scare off like minor incursions from this side. And I'm going to take the fight to their strongest stack. So this is definitely one I'd like to do in a tactical battle, and we're going to fight some undead units here. Now I got a bit more units than they have, but a lot of their units are impervious to missile fire. So that is not something that is to my advantage, since my army mainly consists of archers. Of course, we got our unicorn now, so let's unleash the power of the unicorn, and hopefully that will carry the day. So I'm going to deploy my faster units on the flanks, have my lighter infantry to the front, supported by the bards, which have a shorter range than the archers have, and our archers behind that. So we got the enemy units deployed here, and the first thing I will do in my turn, we got a lot of their units deployed on tiles of forest. We're going to use our druid spell. So they all take some damage, and they're rooted, so they cannot move. And here we can see some of their units. For example, they got wraith units. They got skeleton units, and they got ghouls here, which are Death Eaters abilities. So when they kill a non-undead unit, so in this case a high elf, they would actually heal themselves again, which is quite scary. So I'd like to send my light cavalry of elven riders all the way around, hopefully just capture this one. And I'm going to try and capture the regions rather than actually killing the opponent completely. I'm going to select my unit, and you can already see that their units are actually stronger than mine are. So I'm just going to move them forward to establish a line. Units get bonuses when they're next to each other. And we're going to do some range damage first. Try to get as much out of these as possible. So now they're getting lower health, so it's getting more reasonable to attack one of the others. And we're lowering significantly their power. 21, 15. Some zombies even. Oh my gosh. Luckily they're attacking us, meaning, well, we're attacking them of course, but they're invading our nation, meaning that we're fighting on my terrain, which makes me significantly stronger. Right, so now the trade-off is already better, but still not something I want to risk. And of course we got our unicorn here, which also has the charge ability, and you can see that is some serious damage. And one of their units is killed by our awesome unicorn. Having done that, we're going to press end turn. So now it's our turn again, and we're going to try and... As you can see, I cannot move forward completely here with neither the unicorn or whatever. It's because the units have a small zone of control around them. So you're not free to move anywhere you would like. Right, so we're going to continue that. I'm going to start attacking this guy with melee now. This is not a good trade. And there we go, doing significant damage. This guy is only, I think it's a single unit, isn't it? It's one wraith, so the damage isn't decreased when the health gets lower. So archers are quite effective. Let's not move there. Zero. Our bard tries to play some nice notes. Ah, that was a nice hit, so we can move up now. And deal some more damage here. Alright. So now we have our opportunity. We broke to their front line here. We're outflanked them here, so we can actually capture both of the victory points. Even you see capturing some gold when we enter the city. In the meantime, I'd like to do as much damage to them as possible, letting as few of them as possible retreat. This guy is stuck between two units, so that's not good at all. Clear the way, that's better. And you're low on health, so I'm gonna get you out of harm's way here. Try and chase him as much as possible, but he gets out of range. Not the most favorable of trades here, but I would just want to destroy that unit so he won't come back to hunt me later on. Which is always the chance, of course, with the undead. Gonna move him out here. Very good. Very good. You can actually hit this guy. Alright. Thank you for fighting in my ballpark. And the battle is over, so we killed quite a decent chunk of their army here. And our hero has become legendary, meaning that basically it has gained a level, and we can again select a new skill for it. For the remainder of this battle, all of your units convert attack nature damage. Wow, okay, or Sacred Grove. When you're defending, destroy enemy unit. This one can be extremely powerful, but is very situational. So let's go for the left one, for the green ley lines. And we've taken 3 prisoners. A new unit is promoted. The prisoners we can exchange later on for some good oil, so that's good. Seal light infantry receive a medal. Do we want to give them the evasion or the recon? Let's give at least one of them the recon ability. Recon allows you to take a look also at the enemy troop composition when they're outside of your realm. So when they're in a neighboring realm. Alright, so we can see the flags now turned from silver to gold, indicating this is a hero unit. What I'd like to do now is actually propose a ceasefire treaty. I know it's a bit not very good, but I'd like to have a ceasefire now saying like, okay, we beat you, you're not going to invade us. Let's have peace. We got the battle icon here as well, showing our awesomeness. The enemy actually reinforced here 2 units. 2 units. So let's go into, let's select their realm. Where's their capital? Here it is. And let's offer peace. And they will probably accept this offer because we just kicked their arses. So we're going to send the offer. And we're going to press the end turn. Or do we start recruiting some more? Let's fix this realm up so we can get some more money from it. And the enemy moved in with a significant army. They actually did not accept our peace offer. In fact, they tried to attack us. What I'd like to do, I'd like to end it today with one final big battle. So I'm going to try and relieve the county here. And play one final major battle here. So I'm going to attack this province. We can see a lot of enemy units. We have 2 things to take, 2 objectives. We have some damage units still from the previous battle. It takes a bit of time for them to recover completely, but with our awesome magic unicorn we can heal one of them in the first turn already if we want to. Let's have our cavalry on one flank, try and get into, it's better at the right flank actually, to try and get into this victory location here. Awesome unicorn. So you get a bit of a front line going here. I'm gonna have the bards joining into it. They're like cannon fodder, and the archers behind it, hopefully dealing out the damage. So there we go. The attacker always gets the first turn. So when they are attacking me, they are actually they will get the first turn. In this case here we can see a lot of enemy tall guards, so they're relatively weak units, but still there are quite a lot of them and it can take a bit of time to punch through. And as always, when you're attacking you are on the clock. In this case we have 12 turns to take these 2 locations or whip their butts. So I'm going to move up, and one of the things I should actually be doing first is use our druid's ability, because a lot of them again are in the forest. So using our not green-gray lines but our druid ability here, and we can see already they got a lot of damage. They're rooted, so they're incapable of moving for next turn. Just gonna pepper them a bit. And already we are very close to their victory, to one of the victory objectives. We're going to kick you out. Fortunately the spear units can do some damage as well, to my horses. But we're pushing through nicely. And they're actually retreating into the victory hacks, which is not good for me, of course. Luckily, the ranges of these bowmen are great. Right. Are we in province with a landmark? No, we're not. But converting everything in nature damage might be a good thing. Your turn again. Okay. So we need to push them from here, and we need to get our cavalry into here. But they're actually moving towards me. Let's get you out of the way. Sorry, unicorn pushing up. And here we're gonna shoot them out of there. That's it. And stay there. We're gonna move up our other units to banks. There's not a whole lot of reason to kill all of them, although it's a nice bonus. But it's not needed to win a battle, which makes of course a lot of sense. Oops, that was a misclick of big proportions. When archers actually get directly next to an enemy unit, they cannot fire. There's like a minimum range there, so these archers in particular have no melee skill. Some range units do, such as the bards, but not all of them. So you're staying here, mate. Very good. They're regrouping, reforming, trying to recreate a line there. Harassing my unicorn. The thing is, they're very afraid of my archers, and rightfully so. Again. So let's assist, try and push through here a bit. So I don't attack this turn with my unicorn, I use the turn to heal myself. Finish off another unit. Our elven knights are getting dangerously weak though. Having NATO counters in this game, yes, I would love to see the NATO counter for the unicorn. That would be excellent. To be honest, I really appreciate all the art that goes into that, all the unit graphics. They're quite, they're very immersive, as well as all the terrain and all the building art as well. Let's move into melee with these guys. Well, bards are not primarily melee units. The enemy also are not, so I think I can get better trade with that way. Just gonna move up here. I actually managed to kill another one of them, so that is good. Should have done that one earlier. Yes, there are wizards in battle, although they don't really have abilities like the hero has. They do ranged magic damage. Of course, magic damage is a different type of damage than projectile damage. So yes, there are spellcasters in there. Um, that definitely adds something to your roster, but our elves don't have a whole lot of them. I can't attack them here with very good odds, but I'm afraid they will retreat into the victory hex. So let's just take this one first. There we go. And now going for the kill. I'm gonna have you head back because you're getting a lot very damaged again. And it seems that we managed to outsmart our enemies here, taking the victory locations, then being pushed back. They took a lot of damage over time because of our continuous harassment with the archers. This is one of those tactics that works very well against this enemy, but for example against the dwarves in the mountains, it wouldn't be possible because of movement penalties, because of range penalties. So the terrain, the enemy, the type of damage you have, all dictate the type of playstyle you have to use. Of course, ideally I'd like to see an army of unicorns, but I can only have one of them. Oh yes, many questions rising here in the chat. That's very good. A lot of good ideas as well. Again, this is why we do the early access, which is launching on the 9th of April. Get all those ideas in there, and we'd like to have your help as well. Does the game have a release date? No, it doesn't at the moment. Well, we have the early access release at the 9th of April, but the final release of the game, of course, we cannot tell because a lot of the stuff we might put in depends on your feedback and your ideas. So we're not yet certain like how big of a job that would be, of course. So here we have taken the region back. We killed 1, 2, 3, 5 of their units and damaged a whole lot other. So they'll be gone for a while. We have our units promoted, so we're going to take 1 attack, and our unicorn is even promoted. Let's give it the heal ability. And on that note, I'm gonna leave you here today for our preview of Sovereignty. We saw me playing Son of a. I wasn't able to get a whole lot of territory. I'm actually invaded still from 2 sides and still at war, but so far we're holding on, we're managing. Hopefully we would be able to hold out in the long run with our because honestly, when I look at the amount of troops the enemy has, their economy would be able to allow for it for a very long time. Again, this is just one of the many realms you get to play in the game. There are the different types. There are the dwarves, the undead, the orcs, the humans, all with different alignments. Their naval powers, economic powers, magic powers, etc. So the early access, if you're interested, get your hands on it now or at the 9th of April. Share us all your comments, all your feedback. We're really looking forward to it, and we really want to make this game, which as you can see is fully playable, is already a lot of fun. We really want to make it something special with your help. Thanks a lot for watching tonight. We'll be back to you next week at the same time at the same Twitch channel, and until then, have a nice week, and please game on. Cheers.